Welcome to Office Hours. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, both me and Will from the Quivr team. What is Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. And our objective at Quivr is incredibly simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? Now, each episode, we tackle a couple of cool items that came directly from our users who are trying to do just that, make their life a little easy. Will, I have a confession to make. Our document generation inside of Quivr is adequate.
I think that's very fair. It's a good, we've got something that can work and you can get some stuff out of it, but there are some challenges,
And
I
limitations.
guess.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, it's not as robust. It's not a standalone. Yeah.
We've got 20, 25 deliverables, not IPS, life insurance reviews, estate plan summaries, things like that. And I'll tell you what, they look good. They look nice. They're clean. They look professional. But again, the confession here will continue. Salesforce is not built to extract data directly to PDFs. It simply is not. It is also not built to have information exported directly. I'm saying directly. I know where your head's going here. Directly to Excel or directly to Microsoft Word or directly to PowerPoint. It just simply isn't. Now, we found a solution that worked, but what we found over the last couple of years is people that are doing deliverables or value adds or these exports from these one-page plans, and this is not a knock on them. I'm the same way. They're very particular. You want it to look a specific way because you're communicating these documents to the client and you have your cadence, you have your why as to the order you go, etc. And you just want them to look perfect according to your standards, not the Quivr team standards.
Firms are paying attention to style guides now. I mean, they're spending money on, having a lot of these documents look really, really polished and sharp and on brand and using the right colors and the right fonts. And that's just beyond the capability of what Salesforce natively allows you. You have a very limited list of fonts and people just want more. And I actually think that's fantastic. I would want more.
So we had an option, and this happened about a year ago, not shortly after you started working with us. We had to make a decision. Do we deploy considerable resources? And we're not talking a couple thousand. Do we deploy considerable resources to try to make this a perfect out of the box feature, which, to be very honest, if we went that route, we would have to charge extra for that feature, or we would have had to raise our prices, just to be very clear on that. Or do we take 3 hours of our time, go do some demos with other companies that already have mastered this, vet them, get some special pricing for our users, and then for the 25% of our users that want these, they can pay an extra 20 or 30 bucks a month to one of these third-party providers and get exactly what they want. And we chose the latter, right? We elected to keep our deliverable engine as is, start letting other people use these third-party apps, which we've told the story of the App Exchange, right? 10,000 apps inside of the Salesforce App Store. And I'll tell you what, the results are awesome. Really, really cool.
I think that's the part that's really why I feel like we made the right decision at the time is everybody's a little unique. And some people want to be on the Google platform and they're using docs and slides and sheets. And some people are on the Microsoft platform and they want to use, Excel and PowerPoint and Word. And for us to try to tackle that would really be a distraction, I think, from where we want to head, which is, making advisors' lives easier and building really robust data warehousing and things like that. We don't need to get distracted by, I want this particular font and not that particular font, but it's not available in Word. It's only available in Google. So how do we get around? It's just too much. And so I think this is, a place where we let the experts be experts and we focus our genius on the CRM part and not the document generation part.
Yeah, and like you were alluding to as well, even if we mastered it for Microsoft products, well, now our Google users, we've only, 25% of our users want this function, which is probably around there. We've only accomplished maybe or satisfied half, so 12.5% of our users. So it would have been, I agree, it would have been a foolish deployment of our resources. But the result, like I said, is really cool. We have firms for, and this isn't a joke, a couple $100 a month utilizing tools like Opero Documents, which is a really neat cloud-based. They use Google Docs. So if you're in the Google environment or the Google atmosphere, whatever we want to call it, ecosystem, go check out Opero. It's really cool how that works. And in short, what you do is inside of Google, you create a Google Doc or a Google Sheet And you have Google's formatting. You have Google's, you can type in the 6-digit hex code for a color. You can pick any font that Google has access to. You can put your logos wherever you want. And what'll happen is you get to create that templated document and do mail merges in. So you just find the field, and this isn't hard. Apparel actually has a 7-minute video on their website, 7 minutes, that teaches you how to do everything. And they're actually what I used for a few years before Quivr was a thing. I loved it. It was great. But right, it 20, 30 bucks a month, a couple $100 a year, and you can build your IPSs, your client agreements. You don't have a limit on how many documents you can build. Your 1-page plan, 3-page prospect plan deliverable that you're trying to use to close a client. The options are like literally endless. We had one person, I didn't agree with them doing this, and I think they've halted it since, but they actually took Charles Schwab documents and they put them into the Google whatever as images and then mapped it to there so they could get all of their account application documents out of Quivr with a push of a button. Now, why that was foolish was Schwab will change their paperwork and they won't tell you. So that person, it works great until it doesn't. But point being, they got everything they wanted. And for you, those of you on the Microsoft platform, there's a company called Cloud Files, just like what's in the sky, cloud, and then the word files. Google Cloud Files document generation. Now, rather than building all of the templates in Google with these guys, you just build it in a Word document on your computer, save it to your document repository, you upload it as a template, you push a button, and you get the exact same outcome. You can format it. You can have it on your perfect letterhead, right? If you want to have your primary color at the bottom and make it look like it was printed on letterhead, do that. Right? You can do whatever you want. And like I said, it's a couple $100 a month. There are some
Yeah.
people doing some really cool things with Cloud Files and with Opero, and it's just cool to see.
Yeah, I think it really gives you that flexibility to, advisors I think are pretty comfortable with the concepts of mail merge. They're very comfortable with like their Excels or their sheets. They know how they do it. If you want to go grab somebody off of Fiverr to like really make that look branded and be part of your firm, like you can do that too. It's a great sort of pull all of these threads together and come up with something that is pretty powerful.
Yeah. One more quick story on this. So however many years ago, before Quivr was a thing, I was hiring a developer for $1,500 a pop to create my like 1-page deliverables. And I didn't care because it's like, well, I pay him $1,500. And so he created my estate plan summary. He created all of these things and it was in my system. And I thought that was great because once I paid the $1,500, my mom could do everything. Well, looking back on it, I mean, I've told a lot of our users that I've spent a lot of money on Salesforce before Quivr became a thing. Looking back on it, I could have probably just spent a couple $100 for the year, built all of these myself. And ultimately that is what I do now. So a very, very, very inexpensive way to save a lot of time and get some really cool things out of your system. I don't know. It's neat, right? We can't tell you no. I love it. But that's a wrap. Good stuff today, as always. If you're a Quivr user, remember, come join us on Wednesdays for office hours. Yeah, office hours questions can often be technical, but a lot of the times are philosophical, just like this. I want to have a 1-page plan that comes out of my system with the push of a button that I can use to bring to a client or a prospective client. You can bring those questions to us at office hours where we can have conversations about Cloud Files, Opero, and then other tools as well. If you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But remember, it's not too late. Schedule a demo, come hang out with me and Will, and see Quivr in action for yourself.